Headlines on Galaxy Television News. Federal government declares Monday, October 3rd, public holiday to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. Abdulmumin Jibrin to redress House of Reps suspension in court. In sport, Anambra residents urge state government to invest in grassroots sport following poor performance at ongoing national youth games. In the international scene, Moscow calls U.S. threats to end talks over Aleppo push as it rejects Washington-backed 7-day truce. Details in a moment. Good evening, thanks for joining me on Galaxy Television News for this time. My name is Daisy Olo. To begin our stories for this night, the federal government has declared Monday, October 3rd as public holiday to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. This was contained in a statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Alhaji Muhammadu Masido, and issued to newsmen Thursday in Abuja. The Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdulmaman Bello Dambazao, while making a declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulates Nigerians at home and abroad on the commemoration of this year's independence anniversary and assures them that government is working assiduously to put in place various palliative measures to cushion the effects of the current economic challenges. The minister enjoins all Nigerians to continue to support President Muhammadu Buhari in his avowed determination to build a strong, virile and united country in line with the dream of the country's founding fathers. Following the suspension of Abdulmumin Jibrin by the House of Representatives, he has said he would redress the court. The House on Wednesday afternoon slammed 180 legislative day suspension of Jibrin after being found guilty of violating ethics and privileges of lawmakers. Reacting to the decision of the House, he expressed satisfaction over the decision, saying the House has given him the opportunity to further pursue the case.
Of course, as you are aware, the matter already is a subject of litigation. I've instructed my lawyer, Femi Falana, to file charges of contempt against Speaker Dogara and, of course, the House of Representatives. And I'm sure that the matter will move over to the judiciary and a decision will be taken. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be in my favor. I will never, ever apologize to anybody in the House of Representatives. I did not commit any offense. I did not abuse my office. I have said it repeatedly that in the 5 years that I have served in the House of Representatives, I have never abused my office and I have never corruptly enriched myself. But what is very important also is the fact that now they've done their worst. They've suspended me. What has it changed? At this point, I might say that they freed me up to concentrate on the matter in court. I know the suspension is not going to stand. Secondly, I'm going into a massive alliance with the civil society groups, NGOs, well-meaning Nigerians to continue to press for this struggle.
Jibrin, through his allegations of budget fraud against the Speaker of the House and over a dozen other lawmakers, had stirred controversies and subjected the House to public scrutiny since July. And to Edo State, where angry protesters who stormed the headquarters of the Edo State Independent National Electoral Commission have called on the electoral umpire to declare what they described as the true reflections of results. This is coming after the early release of 9 local government areas results, after which INEC went on a 2-hour recess to continue with the announcement. Our correspondent Dele Fasa, who witnessed the protest, filed in this report.
The protesters were armed with placards of different inscriptions calling for the release of results in their strongholds, were prevented from gaining access to the INEC premises by armed security agents. Some of the protesters who spoke with Galaxy News expressed their views on the result delivered.
We are not going to accept it. We will not accept it. Also, my landlord, we want the election. He cannot give us what we don't want. We don't want it. Oshomola will not succeed. Oshomola ring election. We don't want him. We don't know about Seki. We want Pastor Sege Seyamu. Oshomola went to government house to ring election, to write the election, to write the result.
We don't accept this. We don't know. What is going on here is that as the process of them calling the result from local government, and they go to other local governments, and the areas where we score high, where PDP score high in January's, and they refuse to announce result from that area, demanding for consolation. We are now requesting, we are asking INEC to either accept all the agents representing us there, representing every party there, to bring out their same result yesterday, for them to use that result to collect that area, or they should cancel the local government election. And
others who spoke stressed that the party results were upturned to favor another party during the exercise.
Our people came outside yesterday to vote the party of their choice. And all over the 18 local governments, we know that PDP cleared the 18 local governments. The INEC should please give us our results. INEC should not alter any result, and if you alter any result, whatever the mandate will be, we shall see it. It should not temper the mandate of the right of the people. INEC, give us our true results. We are not going anywhere.
Now, we are here to enforce that the INEC gives the correct result. We will not stand by and let INEC and Oshomale steal our substance. We have made it in Edo State, and victory must be given to PDP. We refuse to be cheated of our victory.
Meanwhile, the protesters who were dispersed by the military, police and other paramilitary operatives promised to intensify their protest after the final announcement of result. When contacted, the Public Relations Officer of INEC, Mrs. Priscilla Imedosule, said she would not speak on the issue after the full results have been confirmed by the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Meanwhile, the deputy governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the just concluded the elections, Mr. Philip Shoaibu, has admitted that there were some hitches in the just concluded elections at his hometown of Jatu in Esako local government area of Edo State. Dele Fason as well sent in this report.
Shoaibu made the remark while speaking at the headquarters of the Edo State Independent National Electoral Commission, where he had gone to lodge a complaint about the objections. He also stressed on the anxiety of the people in waiting for the result.
We had a very peaceful and coordinated election all through the election. We only have an incident at the collation center where a collation officer wanted to act as a returning officer, and we raised objection. And he made a mistake in the culture of calculating the results, and we also drew his attention to it, and he corrected. After correcting, the opponent didn't want that correction again, and for us, we were not able to resolve it at that level. We have to come to INEC office here for them to resolve. So apart from that incident, every other thing went very well. I think they should feel like that, more so that the elections ended around 2 years today. So they should feel like that. But for me, I don't think that anxiety is there, because I am following everything. Since that 2 o'clock till now, my eyes have not closed, and we are just coming into Benin with our own local government results. So definitely, if my local government is just coming, maybe it happened in other areas. I'm not talking for INEC, but me, I'm speaking for what I have gone through. I'm just coming in. Since 2 o'clock, we've been collecting. I'm just coming in. So if I'm coming in, I don't know, maybe it's the same thing as happened in other. But our viewers that are not part of this process may not understand these particular issues.
Speaking on the anxiety of announcing the final result, some residents expressed their views on the issue.
Before, by this kind of time, the result, last election, is not to this kind of time when they announce the result, but we are so surprised up till now, the result have not been announced. Maybe they are looking for 1 or 2 ways to temper the result, because I see no reason up till now they have not announced any result. If they are supposed to announce the result, by now everybody will have go home, will know who is the winner. But we are still surprised, since yesterday till now, no result has been announced. So they are looking for 1 or 2 ways they want to temper the result.
I feel very, very bad. I feel very, very bad about it. We, the Edo people,
As at now, all of us are expecting them to announce the winner by this time. So as far as they've not announced it, so it's very sure that something else is fishing right there. We want to hear the result. We want to know the outcome.
It will be recorded that there were reported cases of allegedly fake collation officers in some units, while security presence has continued to increase at the INEC entrance as materials keep coming in for the final result.
After this break, we'll bring you more stories about the Oyo State and Osun State ownership tussle of the University LAUTECH. Stay with us. Thanks a lot for staying tuned on the news. And to more stories where, as the controversy over the ownership of the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital Ogbomoso continues, the Oyo State House of Assembly directed Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Adeni Olufela, and his counterpart from the Ministry of Justice, Mr. Oluwaseun Abimbola, to submit on how to resolve the crisis. The directive was against the backdrop of the strike embarked upon by the workers of the institution since June 9 over non-payment of salaries, which has totally paralyzed activities in the institution, as well as the way forward on the crisis being generated by the joint ownership of the institution by these two states. The Assembly, at a plenary presided over by the Speaker, Honorable Michael Adeyemo, asked the commissioners that the reports, which must be submitted within 2 weeks, must have 2 parts. The lawmakers agreed that the first part of the report should contain short-term solution to the lingering crisis that would ensure return of students and workers to LAUTECH as soon as possible, while the second part of the report, according to the lawmakers, should contain the review of the joint ownership of the institution by Oyo and Osun State, and also recommend ways by which Oyo State could become sole owner of LAUTECH. Governor Rauf Aregbesola wants Nigerian police force to effectively and efficiently police Osun State. He stated this while receiving the newly posted Commissioner of Police to Osun State, Femihan Adeboye, at the State Government House, Osogbo. The Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola says the current ratings of the state among the most peaceful and crime-free states in the country has been through the coordinated relationship between the state security agencies, particularly the police. While urging the new Commissioner of Police in the state to be fair, professional, and committed in his duty in the state, Governor Rauf Aregbesola said the dearth of resources has incapacitated the state government in commitment to security.
Police, we have had the benefit of amazing officers who understand the nitty-gritty of ensuring peace and security in a political space. Policing here since 2010, November 27, has been most effective. The general belief is that we have one of the best policed states in Nigeria, as it is reflected in the level of security and safety. It's not as if we do not have some issues here and there, but the degree and rate of insecurity is about the lowest in Nigeria. We are challenging the resources, but we are willing and ready to support you with the meager resources we have.
Commissioner of Police Femihan Adeboye promised to improve on the achievements of his predecessors and assured on his determination to ensure that tranquility is maintained in the state and its environs.
And I want to assure you, sir, that we are going to try as much as possible, not to only to sustain the structure, but to improve the structure that LBCP has laid. I used to say that I'm an apostle of crime prevention, because my thinking is that crime prevention is the most important aspects of all our duties. I used to tell people that if you're able to prevent crime, you may not need to perform the duty of apprehension, detection, and all that. So, crime prevention is top on my priority, and I'm going to ensure that we work so much to ensure that life and property in the state is secured, not by my power, sir, but by the power of the Almighty God, who is more than able to ensure the security of everybody, and with the cooperation of Your Excellency, your support, your fatherly support, your brotherly support.
As mixed reactions continue to trail the call for sale of Nigeria's assets, an elder statesman and one-time Kaduna State Governor Balarabe Musa has added his voice with those condemning such call. Speaking to Galaxy News in the Kaduna State capital, Balarabe Musa lamented that the country's intellectuals have been so laid back in their approach of the matter, a position that seems to strengthen the resolve of the proponents of asset sale to continue to make a strong case for that to be done.
Our intelligentsias, our intellectuals should have even told these people proposing this sale, they should have told them off. They haven't, because the intelligentsias throughout have now been bought by those ruling the country. The intelligentsia in the form of NLC, civil society organization, and patriotic individuals, they are now quiet. They are not saying anything. They are waiting until the worst comes, knowing very well that they have a greater opportunity of leaving the country when the worst comes, when Nigeria begins to become like another Iraq.
The elder statesman said it was sad enough that the sale of the nation's assets in the past was a total failure, and having to repeat the same mistake all over again would be an unfortunate episode, one that Nigerians must never allow to happen.
And now they are talking of selling the other assets like oil and gas to private entrepreneurs, these parasites. They want to sell to them. After they have told that, what will be left for the people of Nigeria? Nothing. Nigeria itself would have been sold to private enterprise.
And now to business news, where the Indian government has promised to increase the volume of crude oil it buys from Nigeria. The Asian country also promised to invest $5 billion in the Nigerian economy. The Indian Vice President Muhammad Ansari made the pledge on Tuesday at the State House, Abuja, when he visited President Muhammadu Buhari. According to a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, Ansari said the relationship between Nigeria and India was near perfect, as both countries have nothing to quarrel about. In his response, Buhari praised the government of India for the plan to invest in Nigeria. The president said Nigeria would continue to expand its relationship with India in the areas of health, education, agriculture, technology, and trade. Buhari noted that India had already invested about $10 billion in the Nigerian economy. Up next on Galaxy Television News is sport. Stay with us. Following the poor performance put up by the Anambra State contingent in the ongoing 2016 National Youth Games in Ilorin, the state sports enthusiasts have called on government to reawaken the demoralized athletic spirit in the state. Details in this report.
They blamed the poor performance of the athletes to inappropriate selection and poor administrative decision taken by some directors in Anambra State Ministry of Youth. They called on government and private individuals to adequately invest in sport, and as well as ensuring right personnel are commissioned to manage each athletic unit in the bid to achieve the desired result. Some tennis athletes in Oka, while speaking to Galaxy News, expressed disappointment in the ongoing National Youth Tournament.
One of the directors called the football coach as a hard for him to come and lead the table tennis team, that he don't care whether they get medal or they don't get medal. All he wants him to go. That he doesn't want me. He doesn't like my face. He doesn't want anything about me. I don't have anything to do with the director, one of the director and the other female director. Their plan is this: getting 10% of the allowance from the coaches to take them to the festival.
We have the required athletes, people that can play very well, but the problem is the sponsorship. We don't have facilities. There is no encouragement from the government.
They called on the government to restructure the State Ministry of Youth and Sport by ensuring that the right persons mount its affairs, as well as providing conducive environment to grow sporting activities in the state.
The government really has to look into it, sponsor the game so that we can go international. Like now, the sports festival is at hand. Now we're not in camp like other states, so we want to get into camp so that we can train and play better in the festival.
They are not saying anything concerning table tennis, football, anything. You understand? So no kits, no rubber, no bats. They will not provide anything for us. You understand? We are just anyhow we can source your money and buy your own bats and buy your own rubber. We use it to train.
As Anambra State is concerned, we have a professional coaches, we have a professional athletes. Or what we need that the people in the ministry, like directors, who don't want the sports to go. I don't think that those people are supposed to be in that ministry for us to achieve our goal in this next coming National Sports Festival at Calabar.
Zambia's senior national team, Chipolopolo, will don the Kappa brand as they face Nigeria in next month's 2018 World Cup qualifier. Chipolopolo have had no kit sponsor since the deal with Nike ended in 2014. But FAS General Secretary Ponga Liwewe told newsmen the association was working hard to ensure that Chipolopolo are in a new kit as they take on the Super Eagles on October 9. He said they are working to make sure Chipolopolo can be dressed in the new kit as they play Nigeria. FAS have opted to settle for Kappa despite the kit sponsor not bringing in any cash on the table. It is believed that FAS will raise money through replica sales. Earlier, Mafro had offered to dress Chipolopolo in a deal worth about $200,000 for the next 2 to 3 years. And now to international stories, where a U.S. threat to suspend talks on Syria over the bombardment of Aleppo's rebel-held areas constitutes an emotional breakdown, according to a top Russian official, who says that Moscow will support a 48-hour humanitarian pause around the besieged city. Sergei Ryabkov, Russia's deputy foreign minister, rejected on Thursday U.S. calls for a 7-day truce as unacceptable, but said a 2-day ceasefire could allow desperately needed aid to reach the more than 250,000 civilians trapped in Aleppo. The Syrian army announced last week an operation to retake the position held east of Aleppo city following the collapse of a Russia-US orchestrated truce. Ryabkov's comments followed a warning by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry that Washington would end talks on the conflict, as well as a military pact that involves targeting the ISIL and Jabhat Fateh al-Sham groups unless Moscow halted the assault on Aleppo. Kerry conveyed the message in a call to Lavrov on Wednesday, in which he voiced grave concern over the Russian-backed Syrian government's air and land attacks on Aleppo that have left more than 400 people dead and at least 1,700 wounded since last week. And finally, on the international scene, at least 3 people are reported to have been killed and more than 100 injured many of them critically after a commuter train crashed into a railway station in the U.S. state of New Jersey. The train reportedly went through ticket barriers and into the reception area of Hoboken Station. Hoboken is across the Hudson River from New York City, and many commuters use the station to travel into Manhattan. A spokeswoman for New Jersey Transit, Jennifer Nelson, told reporters that 20 ambulances had arrived at the scene to take the injured to the hospital. Photos on social media showed extensive damage to the train carriages and the station. Reports say people are trapped in the wrecked carriages. Ben Folklore, a witness who was at the station, told Newsman the train appeared to have completely gone off the track. New Jersey Transit posted on Twitter that the service out of Hoboken Station had been suspended as a result of the crash. And that is it on the news for this time. Join us at 10 p.m. for the primetime news. My name is Daisy Olu. Thanks a lot for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful evening.